baby. Here you go. Let me have it. Talk to me about Damon.
Well, I just can't see how the boy's going to avoid doing time. He already admitted to texting while he was driving. Then he plows into Brooke. She ruptures a split. She could have died.
She didn't, okay? She didn't. That's the fact. It's got to count for something. And she's already been discharged from the hospital.
What you need to do is prep yourself for a bad judgment at the hearing. This is all I'm trying to say.
I can't. Look. What about Angela, okay? Angela just got finished proving to me that he's got some kind of developmental disorder, okay? Something that's not his fault. Something that could be treated with therapy, like ADHD or something.
She mentioned that. But if the boy won't go see a shrink, we got nothing to stop a judge from throwing the boy in jail.
There's got to be something.
It's not anything that you have to be ashamed of. There are a lot of people that need help sometime or the other. Counseling, medication.
Yeah, drugs for psychos to turn me into a zombie.
Get melodramatic if you want, but a psychiatrist may be able to give you tools that you can use to make your life easier.
I told you I'm not talking to some head shrinker like I'm a nut job, okay? I don't let anybody mess with my mind, all right?
Did you ever think that the reason you're so dead set against this is because you're afraid that you might learn something about yourself?
Okay. I really want you to butt out now. I made a mistake, and I can deal with it without anybody covering for me.
Damon, let us help you.
Look, just because you can clean up your own son's messes doesn't mean that you need to control my life, too.
Come again?
See? You don't much like it when somebody messes with your mind, do you?
Brooke, put in a good word for Damon at the hearing, but he's going to need a lot more than my support to sway this judge.
Well, he's got it. He's got Angela. She's the chief of staff of the entire hospital. That's got to count for something.
Even if she airs her suspicions about a medical or psychological disorder without proof, it's just her opinion.
Okay, so where does that leave me?
I don't know. Get as many people as you can to write letters to the judge. Sometimes it helps.
I'm already working on it. Jesse. Thank you. I appreciate everything you're doing for me.
I know you do. Listen, maybe there's another way to handle this.
Like what?
Might sound a little underhanded, but this kid is headed for a cliff. And I think we should try to trip him up before he actually gets there.
I'm only trying to help you.
Help is another word for control, the way you use it. I saw that when you helped your son out.
You know, this is the second time that you've said that. What are you talking about?
I saw you cover for Frankie. The day I found his pill bottles in the trash, he should have gotten in trouble. I learned that my first day of community service. Anyone could have found those pills. I might have taken them and overdosed.
But you didn't.
So it doesn't mean he should get off free and clear. I saw you give him the pill bottle back, and then you gave him a big hug.
You have no idea what went on between us.
All I know is, when I screw up, I face it like a man. I don't need my mommy covering my ass.
Yes, Frankie did make a mistake, and yes, I did give him a break. Because he deserved a break.
Oh, yeah, it had nothing to do with favoritism, I'm sure.
Frankie had significant war injuries causing him excruciating pain. He went through operations, physical therapy, but worked his butt off to get his hands back in shape. But he ditched the painkillers as soon as he knew it was time for him to go back to work in the OR again. That was a trying day. He made an honest mistake. So yes, what he did was totally different from what you've been doing, Damon. And no, my giving him a second chance is not about favoritism.
Then what's the real reason?
Frankie, my son, made an honest mistake trying to be the best that he could be. You're in trouble fighting against the best that you can be. Now you think about that while you lie here belly aching about how the whole world is against you.
Breakfast meetings in the park aren't that easy to come by.
Well, if only. It's a little bit more than a breakfast meeting. I gotta ask you a favor. And it's a big one. It's about Damon. He's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble because of this accident.
You mean the accident that he caused? And I've also been told that he's been heading toward big trouble for a long time before now.
Yeah. That's the fact. He's been struggling with a lot of life issues and losing. But this judge, he seems determined to send him away, to make him do time. And I'm afraid that if he does that, then his fate is as good as sealed.
Well, what am I supposed to do about that?
I was kind of hoping you'd put in a good word for him. That you'd even be willing to write a letter to the judge asking for a second chance.
I have to tell you, Tad, when Damon told me the cause of the accident, it really hit home. It's, you know, I have friends in Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and they are really up in arms about texting while driving. And now you're asking me to support this young man who's responsible?
A young man who's responsible could be a much better man. But only if he gets another chance.
I'm sure he can be. You know, but the question is he going to make that effort?
There's only one way to find out. And that's only if you're on board.
Okay. I'll write your letter on 2 conditions.
Name it.
That Damon agrees to be interviewed for an article in Tempo. An article that talks about the dangers of texting while driving.
I'll drag him down to your office if I have to personally.
And that he agrees to do any public service announcements that I arrange, either local television or local radio, in which he talks about texting behind the wheel is as dangerous as drunk driving.
I think it's a great idea.
You know, you are pushing awfully hard for this kid. And as far as I can tell, you're not getting much thanks for it. And I'm not really sure why, except I know that you're a very nice guy. And I also know that, you know, he's Hillary's son, but...
Not doing it because he's Hillary's son. I'll be honest with you. Beyond a point, I'm not doing it because of Hillary at all. I'm doing it because he's my son. I'm Damon's father.
Hey, you don't look like the happy camper.
I'm just frustrated with Damon.
And that bad attitude of his.
Well, you know, actually, I can deal with his less than winning personality. It's his refusal to get evaluated for ADHD or some other treatable disorder that gets me.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to offer your help to somebody and then have it turned down. It's even tougher when your concern isn't purely professional.
What's that supposed to mean?
Maybe you're not just seeing a troubled kid in there. Maybe you're seeing your brother Ted.
Dr. Robert,
You know, you're right. Damon does act like Teddy, but I didn't start seeing that until I heard how badly his father treated him.
No. Your father wasn't particularly big on handing out respect either. I was a witness to that.
I always felt so guilty about that back then. I mean, I was always a favorite child.
Oh, wait a minute. You have absolutely nothing to feel guilty about with Ted or Damon. You hear me?
I know. I mean, I certainly don't want to bring my feelings into the medical treatment that I'm trying to get for Damon. I'm just afraid that he's going to swagger himself into jail.
Why don't you let me have a crack at the kid? They might have an idea or two.
Like what?
Different approach to the problem. I spoke to Tad about it earlier. I mean, it's not a medical approach, but it's worth a shot.